Thank you for tuning to 710 Radio. Hey, Rosemary's World of Cannabis. Boy, do I got a show for y'all today. Candid Conversations. We're going to be listening to them talk today. I don't have a co-host today or a guest. So I work with Candid Conversations and the Stay Ready podcast from time to time on different podcasts. They share mine and I share theirs. So get ready, sit back, and enjoy Candid Conversations. Have a great one. See you soon.
The red button is hit, my brother. You got a beat in the background.
Let's go, man. This Bandman 28 in the building. This High Life Entertainment CEO. And I'm rocking with the Stay Ready podcast. And we in here. You gotta stay ready, man. I'm hot.
Hello. This program may contain explicit lyrics and adult themes that may not be suitable for everyone. Listener discretion is advised.
This is the Stay Ready podcast, where we don't get ready, we stay ready, and we encourage you to do the same.
Okay, shit. Listen to this.
Get ready. 1, 2, 3.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's get this shit started.
What's up, guys? It's Jael, owner of the Fresh Shop, and you're listening to the Stay Ready podcast.
Hello.
Anybody want to hit either one of these again?
This one. I was eating the apple. I ain't want
Okay. Oh, I need to refill it soon too.
I'm ready when you guys are. Matter of fact, what's happening? It's your boy Jay Hill.
Hey, what up, baby? It's your boy Chuck P in the building.
Hey. And this is the Stay Ready podcast. We don't get ready, we stay ready, and we encourage y'all to do the same, bringing you candid cannasations. Stay Ready podcast, and imagine this production. Our much awaited, much anticipated, never duplicated cannabis conversation series. This is gonna be dope, and we're featuring our first guest, a Stay Ready veteran, an individual who knows how to make an entrance like I've never seen.
Yeah, the grand entrance she just made.
She just made the best entrance you can make. I'm talking about the one and only.
I don't think anybody's gonna top that.
The one and only Jennifer motherfucking Bennett is in the building. So,
I like that introduction.
First of all, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. I appreciate you traveling from wherever you came from to be here with us. I appreciate it.
Just north of Asheville.
You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it. I knew it wasn't anywhere close.
No. It's all good. It's worth it.
One, I'd like to extend I appreciate that. Thank you, Ms. Shannon, for being in the building. We have Mr. Lawrence in the building. Thank you guys for attending. And this is the Stay Ready podcast, man. Episode 46. And we're here to bring awareness to this cannabis issue in the United States. And I just say cannabis issue because it's all-encompassing. And I have an individual in the building who really can break down each and every level of cannabis to our viewers, or to our listeners, I should say. We don't have no viewers, unless Chuck go live.
My phone is on like that.
It's okay.
I'm going to try and shed some light on a lot of different topics. Mm-hmm. I am not a master of anything in particular.
It's all right, but I got you.
But I am very well versed. I was the lead grower on a Tier 2 farm, which is an acre canopy of cannabis.
Oh, shit.
So I was personally responsible for generating the clones and the plants to cover an acre of canopy. And there's a lot of process steps that lead up to that. It's agriculture. Mm-hmm. It's hard work. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, you think about growing 800 tomato plants. And you need to get all the seeds started, and you need to, propagate and whatnot. So there's a lot of prep work involved, but there's more to it than that. There's a conscientious obligation to create an organic, nutrient-dense product. Cannabis has a lot of healing properties. Yeah. And so then there are different things within this plant that are beautiful gifts. And so I've learned how to maximize the potential in a lot of different ways. From medicines created for people that I know.
Candy.
Yeah, the best candy I just tasted.
Extracts.
She made us cannabis candy.
Yes, and I would be happy to share how to do that for a lot of different things. You can use concentrates. You can make concentrates at home. You can do simple extractions like cold water bubble hash. Super simple. You can do those things to make a product that then you can use in different things, like ingredients. Making bread. You can make sugar. You can make a meal that you bake with. So you can take it to another level. And I'd be happy to answer questions at no cost to anybody who would like to learn how to do that.
Jennifer Meta got them gems for your ass. Miss Meta, there's a few things that I want to talk about in this show. And I'm going to point them out because they came from you. And I'm going to point them out, and then I want to ask you a couple questions. And then we'll get into all those things. We're going to talk about cannabis being in a legal state versus North Carolina. Yeah. That's something
it's different.
Talk about. You're going to talk about plans for engagement in North Carolina. Yeah. You're going to talk about Jeff Sessions and how he's impacting our ability to smoke marijuana or the legal market. And then you're going to talk to the people about how they consume their cannabis and how you consume our cannabis and how we all consume our cannabis. Yeah. But before we do all those things, you touched on it briefly. But talk to the people a little bit about who you are, what you do. Most importantly, what are your goals short-term and long-term in the city? Just talk to the people about who you are, how you got here, all of that.
Well, I moved here 4 months ago from Southern Oregon. And my father lives in this state, and so does the fellow that I live with. His father lives here. So we wanted to be closer to our families. I also saw a state that desperately needed legalization. And I'm finding out that this is a state that's terrified. A lot of people are scared to stand up.
They're scared of a lot of things.
I don't blame them. It's a draconian world here. You get in a lot of trouble.
I'm all about standing up. You got the right one. Now, you talk about standing up and making some noise and piss people off. You got my attention, Miss Meta.
So that's what I decided to do, was start making noise. I saw what large recreational industry, the big business, was doing to the cannabis industry and the medicine that was no longer going to be available to the masses. And so I wanted to come here and try and help guide the laws to protect the small entities.
Passion brought you here.
Correct.
That's passion.
And so I relocated my life to North Carolina. I picked Asheville because it's kind of a cool area. You know, it's laid back.
You're going to win. That's passion.
Asheville is low-key.
It is. It's got the right vibe. I didn't want to just move to the most conservative country place on the planet straight up out of, the difference. Like in a legal state to here, one of the huge contrasts is the freedom to relax. Knowing that the things that I picked up at the store that are in my trunk are not considered a felony.
Oh man, hey, you can get arrested for anything in Charlotte. This is the Bible Belt. We talked about this in the previous cannabis episode. This is the Bible Belt. So you got a fight on your hands, but I got your back, dog. You ain't got to worry about that because these people don't scare me.
Well, I'd like to help empower people to try and make the change because there are plenty of people who would benefit from the medicinal purposes and from the small industry that it would create. It creates a lot of jobs. People wanting to grow 6 plants at home need an electrician.
Quite literally, people do things.
Watch your mouth, son.
I would say most Americans do things a certain way because they feel like it's the only way that they're supposed to do it. Or that they're allowed to do it.
Absolutely.
That's just what it is. That's just the averageness of thinking. That's what I talked to you about. People you're bred to think about things a certain way. And in the event, publicly, and in the event that you have some type of contrasting opinion to what is socially accepted or what's in the social paradigms, you got a problem. And everything that you're campaigning for in the Bible Belt, that's a no-no.
There's a lot of people supporting this, though. It's not just me.
But I'm talking about the paradigm. The paradigm of it is a no-no.
Yes, it is. It's medicine. It makes people's lives better. We have a lot of veterans and military in this state. This is really good for PTSD and for transitioning. We have an opioid crisis. A lot of people just lost their health care and their prescriptions. I was speaking with a young lady in St. Louis.
We've had an opioid crisis, by the way. We've had an opioid crisis for quite a while.
My girlfriend Katina in St. Louis was talking to me yesterday, literally saying, I would like to make a difference because of these women in my support group. There's a rash of suicides because of the opioids that they've lost. Oh, shit. So they don't have a transitional medication. So not only is it a good replacement, it's a transitional. It helps people in a lot of different ways. And then, of course, the obvious. You've got children with seizures. And
you guys are listening to this lady drop these bombs on you.
Well, I'm very open to helping people further their education and to remove the myths and misconceptions of cannabis.
That's what this episode is for. This episode is a lot. I want you to debunk a lot of myths. We're going to do that. Can you talk to me about... So you touched on what I wanted you to touch on. You came here from Oregon, and I didn't have to tell people that you did that. What are your short-term goals being here in the state? And
Well,
then give me a couple short, give me a couple long.
Number one, I am, as soon as this podcast is over, I'm going over to a lady's house, Walker Spruill.
Shout out to Walker.
Walker's awesome.
Shout out.
And she has a lot of abilities and skills when it comes to creating videos. And so we're creating a series of how-to videos to be a grassroots activist.
That's what's happening.
So today's series of videos that we're shooting are how to set an appointment with your local officials, what to expect in those appointments, and then how to go prepared.
How to not go in there like a pothead and be like, yo, legalize weed, motherfucker.
Right. What points, how to make your points, how to present yourself.
Absolutely. How to articulate yourself in a room for people who have no interest in really doing what you want them to do. You have to sway them. They have to be sold.
It's a lot to it. There's a create alignment with the receptionist. That's your gatekeeper. So there's a psychology to this appointment also that I want to share with people, I think. And so it all started with, I wanted to go talk to somebody, but I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to call, and I didn't know what I was supposed to do to get there. So I decided to make a video on how to do those things as I learned. So that's what is happening.
Shout out to Walker. That's a good short-term goal. Well, give me a long-term goal. Give me a goal that give me something unrealistic. Give me shoot your shot right now. What you got?
I would like to own a 3-story urban oasis that represents organic gardening practices and principles, has a line of products from worm teas to compost teas to Hugels to Go, which is a German raised bed method of art gardening. And I'd like to have a massive cloning operation and maximizing with culture tissue samples for genetics so that I can share and create new breeds and genetics for people.
And that shit's so smooth.
What is a worm tea?
Worm tea is like where you make worm compost.
I heard compost tea. You know?
Yeah, take the worm. So then you take the worms and you make a compost, and it's basically the poo juice, and the plants love it.
I don't think so.
That's science. Though.
That's what it is,
that's
basically.
Science. There's science. I understand the science.
There's a lot of biology in those teas.
I understand the science.
So you've got fungus and bacteria that, when they're eaten by predatory nematodes and things, they will convert those
back out.
They create carbon chains so that the plant has readily available carbon
rich in
chains.
Nitrogen?
Everything that the plant needs. From Canadian molybdenum, the little tiny element, trace elements, up to your obvious phosphorus, calcium.
Your cannabis weed oasis is your long-term goal.
I would like a rooftop garden house up there.
What needs to happen as far as North Carolina legislators to make your dream a reality?
Well, the gardening operation is going to happen. I'm taking a series of soil classes to become a consultant that's registered and certified. I've started a CBD whipped body butter company to try and share medicine. I have connections with really good prices. So I'm going to upset a lot of people in the state because my prices are about half of what people are retail.
You know, we did this. You did this before.
Yes.
This podcast before. Ain't nothing changed in that regard. When this podcast is nearing its end, when we're concluding, you're going to have all the time that you need to plug any and everything that you want.
Awesome. But so those are some of the things that I'm doing, is trying to share CBD oil with people until the legalization changes. Now, once that changes, my infrastructure will be in place, and I'll start adding THC to all my products.
That's a good bullet point right there, because a lot of people don't really know what CBD oil is. I got a lot of listeners that are around my age, young brothers, and they're going to be excited to hear this episode. Explain to the people what CBD oil is.
It's a cannabinoid oil. So what it is, it's part of the cannabis plant. You can also derive it from hemp. You want it derived from cannabis, where it's a full spectrum. You need the trace elements of THC, THCA, CBN, CBNGs, all these acronyms for terpenes and properties that are within the cannabis plant. It is more effective when it is a full spectrum from the cannabis plant, but our state regulates you can only derive from hemp so that it has a low enough THC content. It still has a lot of the healing properties, but it is not as beneficial.
Got quite a few athletes that listen to this, football players, football enthusiasts. Can that be used can they put it on topically for like aches and pains and things like that?
Absolutely. That's why I developed a line of body butters. It's got mango butter, shea butter, and all kinds of yummy, squishy lotions. And so you feel good, but then it has a healing property in there where it's going to go in and it's going to help the muscles. They help the muscles recuperate. And I cannot explain the chemistry to do it justice.
I feel like you can.
I wish that I could.
I feel like
I wish that I could, but I cannot. And so it does have... legally we can't claim it heals and reverses anything, but people with MS, any kind of muscular degenerative disease, arthritic, it is absolutely a good idea, in my opinion, to pursue at applying these topically.
In my opinion, your opinion's a pretty good opinion.
If you research the medical benefits, you should find quite a bit to support those claims that I'm not allowed to make.
So,
technically.
You talked about...
Oh, shit.
But they do, they work.
You talked about...
I'll say it, they do work. Come get me.
Yeah. Hey, who's Jeff Sessions? Tell the people who Jeff Sessions is.
There's a politically correct answer in there. We're not sure where.
First of all,
it does exist.
Charles Powell. This is the Stay Ready podcast, right? Mm-hmm. We don't get ready, we stay ready, and we encourage our listeners to do the same, right? Mm-hmm. Do we really give one iota of a fuck about political correctness?
No.
Okay. Do your thing. Who is Jeff Sessions?
He's a bad man.
What do we need to know about him?
There's something that a lot of people keep making a point with cannabis. Why don't they legalize it? There's so much money. Look at all the income. Those people don't understand privatized prison systems and the income it generates.
We talk about that.
There is the root of this problem. Jeff Sessions is also financially linked. He's this evil man in government. What's his role? U.S. Attorney.
He's a U.S. Attorney. Okay,
yeah.
Jeff Sessions is the U.S. Attorney.
He's taken a stand against cannabis, and he's very uneducated. I would love to just sit down and smoke a bowl with this man.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, I would.
You would.
I have a fucking heartbeat.
I know you would.
Puff that man so tough.
I know you.
We would kick it. I would make him some goody treats, and I would bring him over to the light side.
You probably would.
Them goody treats got me shell over here.
I would have that man in the kitchen dancing and singing. I'm telling you what, I just want 30 minutes alone with Jeff Sessions. Nothing bad. No, I would take every opportunity to consume with anybody ever, because I want to show them how it's not this evil thing that they've created.
You really touched on something though that I'm very
watch your mouth, son.
On the table about the prison industrial complex and what it derived from and what it's evolved into. It's been nothing more than a mechanism to really further slavery. You can't legally enslave people, but if you look at the Constitution, the only individuals that are still subjected to slavery in the Constitution are inmates.
Well, with the ability to pay them 13 cents an hour, and, like firefighters in California, though 90% of the people on the Hill fighting the fire are prisoners, they are not allowed to get a job as a fireman once they do their time because they don't hire convicted felons.
It's in the Constitution. It says the word slaves. Like, only motherfuckers in the country that are subjected to slavery.
And so until you remove Jeff Sessions from privatized prison systems and from synthetic cannabis and pharmaceuticals,
we got a problem.
There's your problem.
And that's why I wanted to talk about that. I'm very big on the prison industrial complex, and it had never had anything to do with cannabis or anything like that. But it's just so funny how our worlds collide. Because this individual is I'm sure he was a big proponent in the 90s of locking motherfuckers up at the rate that they did.
Oh my God, yeah, sure.
And a big proponent in the 80s of the war on drugs, or really that's when they dropped the drugs off in the neighborhoods, the drugs and the guns, and started this whole thing. So
I saw a Dave Chappelle skit the other night, and the Tiki Torch comment kind of hit home. I think our government is filled with the good old boys with their tiki torches. Yeah,
see, we know
that's exactly what's going on.
We don't really have any. We can say it, and I don't even got a chuckle or nothing. Like, I can look at you and be like, "Oh, I know this."
Yes. I really think that they're trying to eliminate the black man. As crazy as that sounds. I thought that was kind of over with. I thought we were past a lot of that.
All of these. One thing I've had a hard time. One thing I've had a hard time acknowledging was like the whole opioid crisis too. Because number one, like, okay, the government started the opioid crisis, right? But it wasn't a crisis when it was
watch your mouth, son,
in the black community where it was dropped off at. As soon as it branched off and all the little white kids started getting on these pills,
your verbiage changed.
Then now it's a crisis. Now we got a crisis on our hands. Now we got a motherfucking epidemic.
At home,
you see what I'm
it's
saying?
A different topic.
It was a war on drugs, bitch. When it was these little black kids and these black people killing themselves and destroying their own communities and neighborhoods. It wasn't. It was a war on drugs. And we got to lock bitches up and we got super predators on our hands. See what I'm saying? When the other side get to it, like you said, the verbiage changed and we have a crisis on our hands and an epidemic. You see what I'm saying? And I'm sure he's a proponent of trying to stop the opioid epidemic. You know what I'm saying? He don't want the children to be hurt by those, but marijuana is something he's very on the table about, and he'll lock motherfuckers up for.
Unless it's this synthetic brand he owns.
That he owns, that he makes.
I believe that he is an investor in a synthetic cannabis, yes.
We're going to get into that. I have some news items,
I guess I'm not in his pocket. I don't see his books.
I have quite a few news items for you that I want to talk about. I want you to talk about me. Yeah, talk about me.
I like your hat.
Shout out to Ugly Apparel. My dog Reggie. You know, Chuck is so high right now. You're smacked. I know when you're high as fuck. I just glanced at you for a second. You're so smacked.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what it was. It was the candy.
The candies are lovely. That was a personal head stash.
That's what's up, though. I'm gonna hit the horn for you being smacked, man.
But at the same time, man, I'm just listening because I don't know a lot of this stuff, man. I know cannabis by a different way.
For sure.
That's what most people.
I'm listening. I'm learning.
For sure.
So that's why you're not hearing me say too much right now.
Well, check this out. Can you talk to us about how do people in legal states make money off marijuana? Can you talk to us about? Because ultimately that's what we want here. You know what I'm saying? We want the people.
It is every job that you can envision, believe it or not. Number one, realtors. They are going to start selling rural land that was never desired. Because where you want to grow is the least desired property at the moment. Now, once it's legal to grow, that's the most desired property. So you have people in smaller rural areas with a surge of people interested in developing and coming to the grocery store. They now live in your neighborhood. So your entire economy is affected. Now, I want to grow indoors. I need an electrician. I need a plumber.
Why is this bad? I mean,
it's not. It's the industry.
What's the problem?
The grow stores are going to start carrying more products. I'm going to need heavy operating equipment. So I need a tractor and a tractor dude.
What's the problem? What's the problem? What's the holdup?
It's a lot of people who do not consume are going to have a job created because of this industry.
That's still a plus. That's a pro. Like
exactly.
What are we not getting through to the people that aren't seeing this? Like why can't they see the benefits of this? Is it because of the competition aspect?
I think it's just technically the law. I think a lot of people just don't want to risk breaking a rule. I think if we change the rule, their opinions will dissipate. I don't think that they have a problem with the plant. I think they have the problem with the persecution.
All right, let's get to it. Let's do it.
And begin.
How did Oregon do it? How'd y'all do it?
It was a whole bunch of people that actually stood up. It was a lot of growers. It was very thick. It's a thick culture, a growing community, and they all decided to stand up. This is an area known as the state of Jefferson. And so a lot of brave people decided to stand up and say, I want to smoke medicinal cannabis and I want it to be legal. I don't want it decriminalized because that leaves out the grower. The grower needs to be involved. I don't support decriminalization. I support legalization. And because as a grower at heart, I want to be protected in this law.
The vocabulary in all this matters, though.
Yes, it does.
And a lot of people don't understand how powerful every wording is. Certain things we were once worded as 3/5 of a person. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Everything.
So decriminalization is accepting that you're breaking a law. That there is still a penalty or a fine or a repercussion, and it doesn't include everyone. It doesn't release and expunge records for people with cannabis charges. All it does is create smaller charges.
Right.
That's not fixing a problem. That's ignoring it. So I don't support decriminalization, which I've been. No, a lot of people do. A lot of activists
because
in North Carolina.
it sounds good to them. It's something that audibly, it's like, oh yeah, decriminalization. No, you don't know what that means.
Now that people feel braver with decriminalization to walk around with their bag or to get, it's just a ticket. Now they're more aware of how many growers there are. Look at the volume of this plant as it exists. Well, where did it come from?
I'm a big fan of just not being ignorant at all. Like, why don't you just know what the word means?
And so in Oregon, a lot of people got active politically and stood up and said it out loud. And that's what we need to do here. Now, this is a state where you have to actually have your politicians make a difference.
Right.
It's not a public vote.
Right.
So what we're going to do is create these videos on how to make an appointment with your local officials, what to do while you're there, and anyone can go.
Okay.
That you are allowed as a constituent to make an appointment and go sit in that office and express your opinion.
Shit,
Now, if enough of us do that in a 1 week time frame across the state, all those guys are going to go to the country club.
I might listen to this.
I'm going to create the video on how to do this, and then once the video is created, I'm going to distribute it to all the different organizations and promote it as heavily as possible and encourage everyone 1 week to try and get as many appointments in the office as possible across the state. All those people, politicians, will get together in the next 2 weeks and go to the country club and go to dinner and be like, I had 5 appointments. Me too. Me too. Me too. So we want everyone there to go, whoa. The whole state just stood up and said, hey.
Come on, y'all.
So maybe that's my goal. That is what I'm trying to accomplish to try and make a change.
Can I ask you something?
Please?
We was just talking about Oregon. Why y'all can't pump gas?
Because it creates jobs.
No, I'm saying, but why they was acting like they didn't know how to do it?
Because they don't know how to do it. They've never done
That's
it.
what I mean. Why they can't pump? Is it that hard?
No.
You can pump gas, Jennifer.
Anyone can pump gas. It's actually simple, but you would think a lot of people could do a lot of things that they don't.
Jennifer, I saw some people trying to pump gas. That shit made me laugh.
I don't understand why people can't take out their garbage. It's simple things in life.
I don't meet very many Oregonians, you know what I'm saying? And
Well, I wasn't born there, but I literally saw... But there's stupid people everywhere.
There's stupid people everywhere.
And there's no excuse for it.
There's stupid people
If that makes sense to you to pick up that piece of machine and try to operate it in that fashion, how can I win?
Bro, I mean,
there's nothing I can say to you.
Did you see the bitch spraying it at the car?
But it did create jobs to ban people from having... You have to have a job so it helped the
Did
economy.
they go? Never mind. Did they switch it back?
Well, I don't think it's everywhere. There's certain rural counties where they can't afford to have employees.
I feel like somebody's like, you know what, bitch, never mind. Just get back in your car. We got it. Yeah. She was spraying her car.
Some people you want to pump gas for.
Oh, man. That was so crazy.
I don't stand on that.
That's so funny to me.
I got things covered.
So, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Jennifer motherfucking Matt.
Hold up. Hold up, hold up. Make sure you go nowhere, because you're not tuned in to the Stay Ready podcast with Jay Hill and Good Luck Chuck. You heard me?
You. Hey. What's happening?
What up, though?
You know, we're back. Jennifer motherfucking Meta in the house.
Yeah.
We took Kelly motherfucking Moss's moniker and we had to apply it to you because I feel like, well, number one, the alliteration's the same. Both of your last names start with an M. But you deserve a motherfucking. Because you the motherfucking. Oh, man. But, so, you're a cannabis expert. I don't care what you say. You're an expert.
Compared to a lot, yes.
I'm not rolling all these little humble brags. You are an expert. Just
I've actually won an award.
Own that shit. You know what I'm saying? Own that shit.
I got second place for Bubble Hash at the Emerald Cup.
Own that shit. You know what I'm
It's actually a true story.
What you think, Chuck?
Yeah. I mean,
expert.
Yeah, I'm a goddamn novice.
Expert. I'm not. You made me realize I'm less than a novice. I smoke little bullshit blunts with my friends. That's what I do. That's what I just found out that I do. I smoke little bullshit blunts with my friends.
And I would love to come back and we could audio walk people through how to make edibles or some things.
When I boss up on y'all, you know what I'm saying?
We could have a cooking segment. We could teach people how to make things.
What I want to do right now, I just want to go through a few news items. Excuse me, the latest news items in the cannabis world. And I really just want your thoughts on them. These are things that I talk about with Chuck sometimes when they come up, but we don't really talk about them that long. But these are things that I feel like will interest you. Number one, and this is one thing that you alluded to earlier, but I almost gave it away, but I didn't want to. The states are asking Congress to allow cannabis access to banks. Can you talk to us about the access or lack of access that cannabis businesses have to banking?
Well, it's a conflict of interest for security. Mm-hmm. You have large cash deposits, huge. We're talking about sometimes upwards of, commas. We $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 cash in a box in the back room is a security risk.
My rundown says cash cow with 2 question marks because that's what this is. This is a primarily cash transaction business.
Yeah, a lot of people are having to turn to cryptocurrencies
How do we fix this? This was in the news.
Remove the federal regulations, and it's a federal banking system, and until it's a federally regulated system, that's not going to happen.
I'm going to read the first 3 sentences, and I just want y'all to look at her face when I say maybe the first few words, okay?
Oh, dear.
Watch this. Watch this. Watch her face. Watch this. In the wake of Attorney General Jeff Sessions' decision to rescind a policy that has kept federal government from interfering in states where marijuana is legal, state leaders have turned to Congress for help. Jeff Sessions is the only person that's in these people's way, it sounds like.
Yes.
He's leading the charge on this, it sounds like.
Yes, and since he's being let to go, obviously he represents people that we're not aware of.
The first 3 sentences.
Say shit.
The first 3 sentences.
Yeah.
And I read that high as hell. That was pretty good. I did all right.
We don't know what's going on is the problem. We don't know who he represents. We don't know who he's in bed with. Koch brothers? Who you got? Who's in your pocket? I don't know.
Is that going to be a deterrent for people? Is that going to be something that makes people scared that they feel like they can't put money that they get from marijuana in banks?
Absolutely. But I also support a smaller scale medical industry more than a large recreational industry. It is a much smaller scale of finances. It's not as big, but I do think that people need to be able to have legal financial transactions. And there are banks that cater to the cannabis industry now.
Weed trivia question. How big is the cannabis market in the United States? Billions of dollars wise. How big?
Big. It's one of the largest cash crops for probably 3/4 of our state.
$7 billion.
I don't doubt it.
Oh, shit.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
That can't go in banks for real.
That's all in someone's top drawer.
That don't even make sense. That don't even make sense. It
now
can't
banks
even go in
want
for real.
banks want it. They want
I
anything,
know they
anything,
do.
But until they're not federally connected, they can't.
Bankers start wars, motherfucker. Like, of course they want their money. What?
So maybe if more bankers would get involved politically,
that'd make me nervous.
It's coming.
People die.
So, yes.
People die when bankers get involved politically. That makes me scared. How about this? Canada's Aurora Cannabis buys Cannamed, creating the world's largest weed producer. And I put this in there because we now have a new big fish. We have a new largest weed producer in the world by market value. What do you think about that?
Well, I think you can go to the grocery store and buy a box of tea bags that have been mass produced and harvested with large machinery. And then I also think you can go to the farmer's market and buy some custom blend tea bags that are harvested with love and crafted with you in mind. And there's a quality difference.
I'm with you because I'm reading about how the stock surges and all this crap. And
I don't think that you can mass produce a quality organic nutrient-based product.
I don't think so either. Like food, that you just said quality-based, nutrition-based product.
Yeah.
Food, that sounds a lot like food.
Exactly.
You can't fucking mass produce food at a good. I hate cruise food. I just went on a rant about cruise food. It wasn't good because I can tell that they just made a lot of this shit, and you can't really season it that well, and you can't really
bitter.
You can't put a lot of love, like you say, love into it.
Yeah, there's no nutrient property there.
Shit was nasty.
It's just matter and color and texture.
I ate a lot of fruit on a cruise. I couldn't do it. But
And
you're right.
So the mass-produced anything is going to be garbage, in my opinion, including cannabis.
That's a very good parallel to draw. Yeah. Okay. What about this? I call this one a not-so-green industry. You're making these rapid fire, and that's kind of what I wanted. That's what's happening. Basically, this article is about... Here we go again. These big companies that you were just talking about. They give you the product in these little pill canisters. Yeah. And apparently, there's been an abundance of waste created from these pill canisters because people just get the canister, throw it on the ground.
There's no recycling program.
There's no, you know what I'm saying. But these are quite literally, what they look like, those big thick canisters or the big thick plastic pouches.
Top. They have them for each individual joint as well, so they're doob tubes.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just a lot of trash. So I call this one the not so green industry. Instead of me reading about these over 7,400,000 bottles that were floating around, whatever. I want to talk about what can we do? How can we not contribute to that? Like, how can we support people who don't
a do recyclable product that is also child prevention? Yeah. The reason these products exist is for safety, to keep the kids out of it, so that if they were to stumble into something, they can't access it. Until just people...
That's something hard to argue with.
Invest in renewable resources more. You're not going to have that. You have that with potato chip bags.
What about like a little hemp sack with a little like zipper lock?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
But you have to pay for those things.
It probably costs what that plastic shit costs, right?
Until we can mass produce things continentally in the U.S. without regulations. Like a lot of places are just getting hemp legal in their state, so that, like North Carolina, if we had legal, full-blown processing and no regulations on hemp, by the way, which is ridiculous to regulate it, it's freaking weed. And so you just, they got all these tobacco companies, until they flip their processing equipment over, you're not going to have mass-produced, continentally created, reasonably priced products that are, you need to get people into recyclable products.
So, do you agree that this is an issue? Do we have an issue
Absolutely.
with
If you saw
cannabis?
how much...
It's not a green issue. It's not a green industry right now. Is it
Correct.
A very wasteful industry.
It is. It's just like plastic bags. They're trying to put bans on those. It's the same blight.
I was out, and when I read the article, I couldn't help but agree with it because I had to think about my personal experience and what I've seen. Yeah, it's not a green industry. The green industry is not quote unquote green. They waste a lot of. They waste. It's on packaging, advertising.
It's like ordering something from Amazon.
You know what I'm saying?
Boxes.
And it is. So that's good. And last but not least, Vermont. Can you tell me about Vermont? What just happened to them?
Yay, Vermont! Thank you for standing up.
I don't even have to read it. I don't need to read it. I know you know.
They changed the laws in-house without going through the channels that you think you have to go through. So they're showing us that if you as a state decide to become a legal entity, it's an option. Just do it. So I think that they really made a strong stand by making things legal in-house.
Their state moniker is the Green Mountain State.
I like that. Make a cool logo.
Shout out.
Sounds like product.
Shout out to the Green Mountain State.
So I think we should support Vermont. We should show them some love.
Oh, by the way, survey says Jennifer motherfucking Meta is absolutely correct. The first line of this article by way of CNN, Vermont, quote, the Green Mountain State has become the first state to legalize marijuana by passing a law in legislature rather than use of ballots. That's what you just said.
In a less refined way, yeah.
I just quizzed you, and you got it right. Like this lady, I'm telling you, she...
This is outstanding.
It is what it is, man. So, Miss Meta, I want to give you an opportunity to talk more about some of the things we were talking about earlier. One of the things you wanted to talk about was law enforcement and our ability to communicate our rights to law enforcement. You know what I'm saying? What we are allowed to do, what they're not allowed to do.
I do not think that as many cops hate cannabis as people think.
I don't think so either.
That they want to hold fast to the rules that they've been given as an outline, and that's where they're coming from.
Quotas as well.
That doesn't help anything. Quotas are a stupid thing, but it forces people to have a law, and it just seems ridiculous. But I do have something that I think people should be aware of, and that are your rights. You are possibly going to interact with a police officer. You are going to have this encounter. So I'd like to read this, and I would like everybody just to listen, and then hopefully I can forward you these words and this content, and you can link it somewhere.
I will.
This is not legal advice. Please do your own research or consult an attorney. Officers do not have the right to search you or your house or car without a warrant, with limited exceptions. An officer cannot say he has probable cause. He must show a judge probable cause to issue a warrant. If he does not have enough evidence to convince a judge to issue a warrant, then he cannot. Officers must have a clear and articulable suspicion of a crime in order to search without a warrant, and then it is limited in scope. If an officer saw something and can be specific in describing the crime you did, are doing, or will do, and believes you are armed, instead of fishing for a crime, then he may have the right to frisk you for your weapons or check your weapons in the lunge area where you could reach. This does not include the trunk, luggage, or luggage racks. This is called the Terry Frisk, F-R-I-S-K, or a Terry stop. Read those words on Wikipedia. Terry stop. Educate yourself. This is also a state where you do not have to show ID if you are not driving. You can say, am I being detained? If they say no, say thank you, have a nice day, walk away. You are allowed to ask questions.
My girlfriend hates that I do that. Like, I really ask
It is
people.
scary.
It's
scary.
just like, have some stones. I told her, think about this. The worst thing you can do in this society is, quote unquote, make a scene. That's like the last thing people want to do. Oh my God.
But when you can articulate your rights, when you can say, actually, I'm aware of the Terry Frisk clause. I know that you do not have this right. Or am I being detained? Thank you. Have a nice day. Be respectful and move on with your day.
I'm out. Leave me alone, bro. I'm out of here. Shout out to you. I'm gonna send me that. I'm gonna make sure I put it on the Stay Ready page and wherever else I need to put it.
And knowing your rights. This is such a big deal. When you can, protect yourself, it disarms people from taking advantage of you by just having information.
Shout out to that. We'll be right back.
Hey man, what's going on? It's your boy Jimmy B, aka January Jimmy, coming to you LIVE from the 704, and you tuned in to Stay Ready Podcast with my boy Jay Hill and my man Chuck P. Don't get ready, stay ready.
We are controlling transmission.
You remember the conversation we had, that last conversation about the spoof? You get a bag, you get a...
Yeah!
Well, do you mind... So
I caused so much shit over this.
Okay, so
oh shit.
Jennifer calls me one day and she's like, I need you to answer a question for me, and she gives me the scenario.
I got attacked as a racist.
Yeah. Because she wanted to do a spoof on Oprah and be, you get a bag, you get a bag, you get a bag.
I'm gonna be Dopra.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
I don't think so.
It was hard.
I was gonna make my hair real big and put on a red dress and have a book.
Man, listen,
a book about weed.
The only thing.
To me, that sounds like a dope idea.
I thought it was funny.
The only thing that would make that idea go from dope to like ignorant as hell is if you did anything with your skin.
That's what did I tell you?
That's it.
She said, don't go blackface.
I said, just don't do blackface.
Who the fuck does that?
That's what I said.
Who the fuck is that?
Other than that idea is fire.
It's fuck.
You see, I have Oprah hair.
Man, you should still do
I
that.
have,
do that shit.
I put on a red dress and
do that shit.
I need a book and a
If there's any static in the comments, I got you.
Well, I was wanting to do it on the, and Walker
Stay
was.
Ready is on the scene. Like, no way.
She said, no way, we can't make that video. I was like, I think it's funny.
Walker's too white. Like, Walker's too white for that. She don't have to. Remember, she asked us, like, she couldn't say black people. And I was trying to tell her, you just got to go ahead and say that shit. Like, it's okay.
I want to be doper. I think it's funny.
Just do that shit. Man, do that shit. Do that. That was
funny shit.
That made me laugh.
I didn't. I said, just don't do the blackface.
That's where people fuck up.
But I'm brown.
That's where people fuck up.
Whiteface
Like,
on.
you can still be Barack Obama and just be a white guy. Like, I'm Barack Obama. Okay, I believe you. Like, I know you're not, but you are.
And I told her, I said, be prepared that some people are going to take it the wrong way. And
I'm telling
that's kind of where I was at.
I'm telling you, because it's not racist at all. People don't understand the difference between racism and prejudice and what's ignorant and what's nothing.
It's just
You know
funny.
What I'm saying?
That's all that
That
is in my head.
That is nothing.
That is hilarious.
That's nothing.
But I was going to be like, and you got a bong, and you get a bong.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a bong.
Yo, Tom Cruise jumping on the couch with the bong in the background. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit, man, funny.
So many opportunities to make fun of Oprah.
Like, get out of here.
And then if she sued me,
Stewart.
oh God, how good would that be if she sued me? It's so gold. I could never.
Still gold.
It would be gold if she would. It would be fine.
She would do that shit.
If I could have her on my show.
All right, let's do this.
Oprah and Oprah.
It's your boy Slim Hood, and you are now tuned in to the Stay Ready Podcast. It's just work.
That was the coolest shit ever. One take shouted.
Back to the lecture at hand.
Yo, we back, man. We over here. You funny. You. Oh man.
You to invite me to a party.
I know. I gotta go to a party first. I don't even be going to parties.
We should have a Stay Ready event.
I like where your head's at. I'm with it.
It would have to be underground.
I want to have a little conversation about how do you consume your cannabis, Miss Matt? I want you on wax about how you consume your cannabis and the different methods that are available to the people.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? She's double
in
cup
many
over
ways,
here.
I enjoy consuming cannabis in all the ways. I use it medicinally in different ways. The hard candies is definitely a medicinal way to consume. There's no smoke inhalation, but I love to roll a joint.
Before we, not mean to cut you off.
Oh shit!
We can just tell the people how many different ways we've consumed cannabis since she's been here. We've eaten cannabis candy. We've hit whatever that is you're hitting right now.
Concentrate, which is a BHO, butane honey oil concentrate.
And then we hit whatever's in your right hand.
That is a flower vaporizer.
I'm smacked too.
For concentrate, it is for flowers.
And then I smoke. I had a blunt.
That is correct.
So I mean, that's what 4 different ways right there. No, 5 different ways right there.
Forget she left a little present for the Stay Ready guys.
Oh, the horn was gonna get hit for that later, but the horn will be hit for that right now because she left us some fuego. Oh, Dios mío! Listen, y'all can't see it. Y'all just got to take my word for it. Whatever. So other than whatever we got in this room, which is like a multitude of uses, is there anything not in this room right now that the people can do to consume cannabis?
Well, like let's say if you have some little leaves and little stems and stuff left over from where you've been saving all your little duffs and shake, you could make a butter and you could use it to cook with. You can also use that shake and trim to make a cold water bubble hash extraction, which is lovely, mixed on top of a bowl, or you can use it to make edibles or concentrates with to eat.
Okay.
So you could recycle things that you have that you don't know.
You know, you gotta send me some recipes that are simple, and I'll put them on the page because I know we have some listeners that'll try some recipes if we put them on our page.
We'll try
them ourselves. I mean, look, I know that I'll put them on my IG page. I know I have some people that'll just be like, "Oh, that's what's happening." Like,
and then you can also make capsules where you take the gelatin clear glycerin capsules and you put a little in there and then you swallow it and it's.
I want when people think of Stay Ready, I want them to think of cannabis. Like, I want them to know we bought it. You know what I'm saying? Because we've been bought it since day one. That's been something that's been a part of our show. And then we had a couple legalization topics. Then we had your episode, and before that, like we bought it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
We smoke weed. We indulge in cannabis.
And I'm interested in the science behind it. I'm interested in the whole...
There's a lot to cannabis besides just smoking a joint or smoking a blunt. There's different strains. There's indicas, sativas, which there aren't any true indica sativa pretty much anymore. Most are a hybrid. Your true landrace strains, you're going to get a true sativa or indica when you get into your older genetics, which are known as landrace strains, the original strains where cannabis came from. You have
like the Dracula strain.
Yeah, so you've got your old school original stuff, and then there's pretty much everything else is a mix of everything from that.
You've already made us feel overwhelmingly inadequate about where we fit on the totem pole or the hierarchy of weed smokers. We are nothingness in that regard. We know. Like,
I'm about to go open up a computer when I get back to the house. I need to be more. I need to get my knowledge up now.
Well, smoke little bullshit.
Like this joint right here.
And if your listeners have any questions and they want to send them in, I will be more than happy to address each and every question of any kind. There is no wrong question. Be totally happy to help people figure out. And I'm a master grower. Totally help you figure out pest pathogen issues, soil, nutrient deficiencies, things of that nature, so that you have a healthy plant where you don't need to use any chemicals or fertilizers.
She's kicked that shit so smooth.
It's everyday life. Yeah, it's everyday life.
Boom, boom, boom.
But we can help you organically overcome. I can even tell you how to go out into the woods, find different things that you want to make an extraction from, all organic, all homeopathic, and you can create beautiful plants.
Jennifer bought that life. Jennifer looked like she'll say all of this shit, and then she got a shotgun like under her seat. Like,
non-violent, but I do own overalls.
About it, like, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jennifer motherfucking Bennett. You want to play Would You Rather with us?
Yes.
Appreciate you. Would you rather go to a distant planet or travel through time?
Travel through time.
You too?
There's absolutely nothing on a distant planet.
Travel through time.
Travel through time?
Absolutely.
Same here.
Time?
Okay.
Yeah. What you gonna do on a distant planet? They got no weed there.
85% of people said travel through time. So, would you rather live until 80 in poverty or live until 40 in riches?
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
I say 80 because poverty's a state of mind.
Yep. I'm with you. I don't
I'm already 46, so I'm gonna have to go for 80.
Like, damn, I'll be damn. I gotta start out dead, bitch. I gotta start out dead. I don't want that one. No. I'm with you. I understand money for what it is. It's backed by natural resources.
Money comes.
And
You'd
gold
be crazy
and,
to think you're never having it.
You know what I'm saying? It's really the important things in life are not actually money. It's just, it is what it is. So I'm with you. What about you, though? This is a Charles Powell question right here. It's a Charles Powell question right here. Yep. 40 until and be rich, or 80 and you broke.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I gotta live fast, die young.
They shit.
So, you already knew my answer. That's why you asked me last. Yep. That's exactly why you asked me last. You knew my answer. Live fast, die young, man. Yep. I'm sorry.
I'm picking that for you.
Yeah.
I pick him for him.
I would have went with the 40. Because I could live a good life by the time I hit 40 if I'm rich. I could do a lot of things that you did by the time you 80 and 40 years.
You won't know what to do with any of it.
Man, on some real shit, if I knew I was going to be broke, I'd just get a passport and...
Yeah, but I could do all that in 40 years,
yeah,
like 5
but
years.
fuck it. No, I'm just saying, get a passport and I could be a nomad in places that don't really value money that much and still live a good life and travel around and do shit. I don't want to die when I'm 40. Nigga, I'm almost 30. Yep.
Yeah, that's not. I'm saying we're not talking about if I'm already almost 30. I'm talking about we get to start over and I get to live 40 years.
Get to pick up the
Yeah. And I can't go 10 years.
That's what I'm saying. That's a burnout right there, boy.
More time than that.
Okay.
You have to put a dollar value on what rich is.
It just says riches. I guess that means you're just never without. Like, anything you want.
That's what I mean. I got a family, man. You know, I can't be 80 with a broke family, too. You feel me?
After
40 years, my family gonna be rich after my 40 years.
After a while, I just be like, yo, if I know I'm finna be broke and all that shit matters, I might not start a family.
Oh, you already got a family.
Unless I start a family.
Like, you already got a mama.
Well, you said we were starting over.
You got a mama still and a daddy? Yep.
I gotta go, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 40 years. I got 40 years. I'm gonna leave all this to y'all. I'm gonna have kids.
Would you rather be in Slytherin or Gryffindor?
Oh, no!
What's this from Harry Potter?
Yep.
Yeah. Right?
Okay.
I don't know what that is. I think it's Harry Potter.
Next.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Do they both get cool hats?
I don't know. I watch.
I'm not a Harry Potter.
I watch Harry Potter, but
I don't know the
like
differences.
Going into the details of what
I guess Gryffindor, because Slytherin was the snake one.
Yep.
Slither.
And Harry Potter was a different door. Gryffindor.
Yeah, I guess I'll go over here.
Then I'll be
I already skipped it. Yep. Would you rather never be able to feel emotions or never be able to express emotions?
Oh, shit.
Ooh, I dated that guy.
That's funny. I know some ladies that don't laugh at that. They're gonna be like, she talking about you, nigga.
I guess express emotions. I would rather not be able to express them. I would be sad not to have any feelings.
I'm going to kill you.
That seems bizarre to me.
Yep. It's weird how I walk this line between both of them.
That's why I'm over here like,
I wouldn't want to live without compassion or empathy.
Well,
those are feelings.
By virtue of my opinions and things that I express in this society, I've been accused quite a bit of not having empathy or compassion or, you know what I'm saying, being a really terrible individual. Not that that's true, it's just, it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? You get in a room full of people and you say things that all of them hate, then you're a person that they hate, and that's just, you know, it takes a different kind of person to go that third level deep to understand what they understand and then wrap your mind around that. So I don't know. Not feeling emotions in this world.
You guys talk a lot of shit.
Well,
if I could not feel them and still express things, then that'd be very interesting. That would be a very raw and uncut point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Because that means quite literally I'm devoid of having any sort of feelings about how you feel. See what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna take into any of your thoughts into account before I open my mouth and speak my mind, express my emotions, and it's gonna be real. Everyone's gonna get the honest truth from me all the time. I would go with not be able to feel, but this isn't for me. This is for one of you. So whichever one of you gives me the most interesting answer, I'm gonna pick it. So which one did you say? Not express.
Not express.
Would you rather not be able to feel emotions or not be able to express your emotions?
I don't want to feel emotions. I can be cold and heartless.
I want to go this one to Jennifer. Because I said I don't want to feel them, but I want to see who doesn't agree with me. This one was pretty split. 58% of people agreed with you, though, Jennifer. They'd rather never be able to express their emotions. So you guys, I don't know what I would do. I feel like it's quite literally unhealthy or toxic to me on the inside to hold in my emotions, to suppress things.
Very, very
like,
watch your mouth, son.
People say I have anger issues now. If I was never able to express how I felt, that would make your back hurt. You get real tenseness in the back of the base of your neck and your shoulders all the time. I don't know. That would stress me out.
Heart attack.
Yeah, that's what. Hey, shout out to the weed. I would need lots and lots of
coping
weed.
mechanisms.
I would need so much weed. Oh my goodness.
You gotta smoke like 12 months a day.
753,000 people said that though. I mean, I don't know. I can make a compelling argument for both sides, but I can make the most natural argument to not be able to feel emotions. As long as I can still talk to people about how I felt with little to no regard about how they felt, I'm cool with that. It's not much of a leap from where I'm at right now. I have a little bit of tact. Would you rather be an amazing security guard or a terrible federal agent?
Oh shit.
Amazing security guard.
Top flight security of the world, Craig.
I ain't trying to get it.
Not just the city of the world, Craig.
Bad federal agents on to get you killed, man.
They need security in the world, Craig. That's what you're going with?
Would I be a good security guard or a horrible agent? I don't think I could willingly be a federal
Be a
agent.
fed?
Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to be a security guard.
Can I work for Hoover in there? I'm like, no. What is a bad agent? Yeah, is that the one who gets shot? There goes get shot Randy.
And I mean, if you're crooked, you're dealing with like some pretty shady people, like big time bad guys.
Get shot Randy.
Yeah, I guess security guard. I'm gonna keep the people safe.
Top flight security of the world, Craig. 69% of people said that. Nobody fucks with the feds. That's funny. Would you rather eat a pine cone or an acorn?
Acorn.
I think I ate an acorn before. I guess I would go with that too. It's not piney. I mean, I won't get hurt.
It's just so little you can get it over with quick.
They're gross. They're so nasty and bitter.
Both are gross. But an acorn would be over fast.
Have you eaten a pine cone before?
No.
I tried a pine cone before.
I have eaten an acorn before though.
I did. I tried a pine cone when I was a kid. I did. I tried it.
Oh shit.
I did.
Said that's so smooth. You never did it.
That's some
said
funny
ugly
shit.
what?
That is some funny shit. I didn't eat the thing. I tried a piece of the.
Yeah,
I spit it out,
But that what's in
I did think an acorn was edible though. I thought like.
What's in
at one
pesto?
point I did too, so I tried
Pine
it.
nuts.
I know it was nasty.
Pine nuts are in pesto.
I don't know, but
That's from a pine cone, right?
the piece of pine cone I ate was really gross.
Really? What
Is
pine
it?
nut is
Oh,
from?
I'm googling
I have no
this.
idea.
I do not know.
I don't know.
Where do pine nuts come from?
Well, you can
I don't
roast them
know.
and put them in food.
Shout out.
So maybe we all eat pine cones.
We're about to find out where pine nuts come from.
We should know.
I don't feel weird for saying I tried a pine cone before. I feel like I'm not alone in the world.
Well, you're probably not. More than likely, you're not.
I might be in the minority of people who are willing to admit it into a hot microphone. that
I've
they
never
ate
even tried a pine cone because it just looked like it would hurt. Because it hurts your hand when you picked it up. I think if I tried to bite it.
Pine nuts are the edible seeds of pines. About 20 pine produced seeds large enough to be worth harvesting.
So they're like pre-pine cones. They're not pine cones yet.
Yeah, that's how you make pesto, though. Pine nuts and basil.
The more you know.
So we all eat pine cones, actually.
Okay, would you rather be an only child or have one parent? See, this would be a tough question for people who had like both parents in their lives at the same time.
But I would only have one parent. Only child should be making these niggas spoiled out here, man.
I'm an only child.
Yeah, but see,
What are the
different.
choices? Only child or?
Would you rather be an only child or have one parent?
Oh shit!
Do you get to choose the parent?
For a while, I only had one parent.
I'm just saying, me too. Do you get to choose the parent though?
Doesn't say.
I don't feel like having two parents was an advantage.
If I get to just choose my dad, then yeah, I'll be one parent all day.
This is interesting for me because for the first 2 decades of my life, plus, I basically was an only child. I only had one parent. Now, my dad had another family in Florida, and I have a sister the same age as me and a sister and a brother that are older than me. So I technically always wasn't the only child, but for all I knew, I'd never met them before and all those things. So this question is very interesting to me. I met my dad and my sister.
I have to make somebody not exist in my scenario solution. I have to, because I have siblings and parents.
You had both parents.
Correct.
So I'm saying, like, everybody always had different. Like, I basically had the either or the or. I was an only child and only had one parent.
Well, I had two parents. They just weren't together.
Well, I mean,
but I do have two parents.
I didn't know my dad.
Right. Okay, that's different.
I didn't know him. I didn't see his face until I saw him once when I was like 12, and then I didn't see him again until I was 21 or 2. So I'm saying, like, I didn't know my dad. So
right.
He's good. He's a good brother. I know him now. He's a great brother.
Overwhelmingly impressed with either of my siblings or parents either. So I don't know who I would eliminate. I'm not sure.
This is a very interesting question for me. Yeah. Because either one of these, like, I know what it is. I know what it's like for both of these. So I guess I just won't answer it.
I guess I'm going to keep both parents because they both influenced who I was in my formative years to create who I am, whereas I don't feel like my siblings did.
Okay, that's a very good answer. What about you, Chuck?
I'll just take my dad. That's how I said it.
Okay, what do you guys think the people say? What do the majority of people say?
I think they would keep their parents.
And be the only child?
Yeah. Most of us don't care for our siblings.
I know my sisters.
75% of people said they'd rather be an only child.
Yeah, nobody likes their siblings. That's what I figured.
Come on, y'all.
Okay. Ooh, okay. Miss Meta, are you a person who's big on hygiene?
Yes.
You like to be clean?
Correct, yes.
Would you rather take a cold shower every day or take only hot showers once every 2 weeks?
Oh, no, I take a cold shower every day.
Yep. The ladies in the room said yes immediately to the cold showers.
Absolutely.
It was just like
I would lose my flipping mind if I had to go to a shower.
The ladies in the room were just like, oh, yes.
No, I was that weirdo with gallons of water up on top of getting water dumped down at camping and stuff on you. Like, no,
Hey, gotta wash.
Got to be clean. It's self-respect.
That cold shower, it ain't good for me.
You get over it.
Every 2 weeks, though?
I can't go every 2 weeks either, but damn. Man,
you know we athletes. You know how bad we stink after.
I would have to do a quick 2-minute hop in. Because that's just cold showers are just the worst, bro. Cold showers are the worst, one of the worst things you can do to yourself.
70-30 for the showers. It's 343,000 people out here that would take a shower every 2 weeks, as long as it was warm.
Some people don't take showers every 2 weeks.
That's real, but I need to take a shower every day. I do a lot of athletic ass stuff.
All I can say is they are among us. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Okay, this is a good one. Would you rather be a famous athlete in the Olympics known around the world or be a famous actor known only in the States?
Oh, athlete. Yeah.
Known around the world?
Yeah, just because of the health aspect of I would physically be able to. I'm picturing some big, humongous, fat movie star. Pointless.
I just like the international appeal of it. Olympics is very international. That means I can.
All sexy, svelte, running fast in the wind.
Speaking different languages.
Speaking different. That sounds cool. Yeah, I'll do that.
I like that. Good. Okay.
Look good in my shorts.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I'll be an athlete. You already know. That's why you asked me.
This is a good one to end on. Yeah, I knew you. This is a good one to end on. Would you rather be on the Titanic and know its destination and fate, or be Hitler's friend?
I would a good loyal friend, or just on the inside of access.
If I knew the Titanic's fate, I would get off that motherfucker. So it's okay.
Do you know how cold and deep and fucking that water
But
was?
you see people was getting on the little dummy boats. Well, I can't be the first one on because I know it's coming. You feel me?
You be in that bitch early, like
hey, I'm out.
Hey,
I'm about to gather everything I can, put it on the boat, and they not even gonna know why I'm dropping out like this. I just don't want to be on the cruise no more, man. It's fucking with me.
It says both end exactly how you think they do. So, would you rather be Hitler's friend or be on the Titanic?
No, I can't be Hitler's friend.
I can't be Hitler's friend.
I can't fuck with Hitler.
I couldn't watch that shit go down. We're gonna argue. We're gonna disagree. I'm not gonna be very good.
Damn, I was just on a cruise too, and I would have been really pissed if that bitch went down.
But if you already knew it was happening, you good.
They didn't have as many lifeboats as I thought they did.
You would have had one of the only ones, though.
I've been in there first, right? Hey, I'm not
all the supplies, you would have carried food, you would have carried water, you at least would have hopped in, y'all would have been gone, y'all would have been waving. Just they would have been like, what are they doing?
What's the ratio? Who won, and what's the ratio?
Nobody wants to be Hitler's friend. It's like 99% said Titanic.
Nah, I'm going with Hitler's friend probably by like 60%.
50-50.
No way.
Oh,
50-50. 50-50.
So 50% of the people could tolerate Hitler. That's lovely.
50% of people are that afraid. They're that
awesome.
aware and afraid of their own mortality that they'd rather befriend a sadistic individual.
Cause y'all niggas ain't shit.
That's a choice.
A mass murderer. They'd rather befriend a mass murderer than be what they consider a guaranteed death.
Wait till they meet Mangla at cocktails. Yeah,
that's so
gonna
crazy.
Get weird.
That's 50-50. I can't make that up. That's crazy. Miss Meta.
Yes.
I told you at the end of the show I was going to give you an opportunity to shout out anything you wanted to shout out. Give any shouts and plugs to any organizations you fuck with, your own businesses, your own ventures, how people can reach you, what they can look out for in the coming weeks and months from Jennifer motherfucking Meta. You know.
Well, working on this series of YouTube videos for a YouTube channel on how to be a grassroots activist. I would love for people to keep an eye on that and try to participate in some of the things to try and make a difference. It's for all of us. And then my company, Cannalina, Cannalina. It's CBD oil infused whipped body butter.
You got a Facebook page?
I will. It's about a 2-week-old company.
When you do all that, like, link it to me, and I'll do all the sharing and stuff.
But yeah, definitely keep an eye out for the YouTube channel. It's Jennifer Meta is the name of the YouTube channel, and it'll be instructions and advice, and maybe just demystify the scariness of being an activist.
I've been saying your last name wrong this whole time.
It's really neutral. It's okay, Jennifer Meta.
I don't know. I thought I heard you put like a little.
It's Mehta, but it's Indian.
Okay.
So, but
yeah, I probably wouldn't have been doing.
I met a girl named Jennifer. Works pretty good.
I wouldn't have been. I probably would have been. Yeah,
I'm actually Jennifer Jean.
Hey, listen. This is episode 46. 46 episodes.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
I wish for more to half a century though. That shit crazy.
I can't believe we're almost 50 in. Yeah. And this right here, I mean, this was so informative. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. And thank you, like I said, thank you for being here. Thank you for your presence, your energy, your presence. You know what I'm saying?
It's the present.
You know what I'm saying? Your presence is a present, and your presence was a present. You know what I'm saying? It just
nice.
It was. This was all of those things that I want to say. This was captivating. This was thought-provoking. This was educational. This was fun. This was funny. You know what I'm saying? This was just. It was. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to you. Jennifer motherfucking Meta in the house on the Stay Ready podcast. You know what I'm saying? Brought to you by the Stay Ready podcast. And imagine this. Miss Sharon Mosley, right? You know what I'm saying? Couldn't have done it without you.
A wonderful, amazing woman.
You know what I'm saying? Thank you guys for listening. Subscribe to the iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play. Rate us on iTunes. I need those iTunes ratings. You know what I'm saying? I've been looking at our little metrics. We doing all right. You know, people fucking with Stay Ready.
Solid. We working.
Shout out to you, Derek Ridenauer.
Derek Ridenauer.
Shout out to Derek Ridenauer, man.
Last episode was pretty lit, bro.
It was lit, but he said that we're the only ones he listens to now.
Oh yeah, he did. He gave us that compliment. That's dope, though.
I gotta say that on wax, man. That's pretty dope. Like,
I mean, we got it on wax from him, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Episode,
that's pretty awesome. That made me feel nice.
That's real solid.
We're making a lot of moves, man. Stay ready on the move, Charles Powell, and we're always looking for people to help build the brand, and we're always looking for people to help build with if you're looking for advertising or you're looking to advertise with Stay Ready, holla at us. Holla at us. Yep. We're always looking to expand. We're always looking to, further what we're doing.
I'd like to get a table at your event.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and people fuck with us. Like, we can't make this up. I can't. Charles.
Yeah, man, it's very organic, man. The love is just being shared everywhere.
There's nothing contrived, but at some point in time, things get serious. You got to get down to business. Yep. We are about our business, and if you want to advertise with us, this is where you want to be. We have a few right now. We got the Fresh Shop. Shout out to the Fresh Shop. Yep. That was our first sponsor, Charles Powell, and those commercials are always dope.
Yep. Forever have a place.
I'm getting good at this, bro. I'm just saying, humble brags. Yep. I'm getting good at this whole commercial thing, and so shout out to us, man. If you want to advertise with us, get at us.
You be working, man. Stay working.
The emails on the link in the the emails in the IG on our IG page. I'll put it up there it's everywhere actually. It's Stay Ready Pod, like literally. It's very easy to get in contact with us. Yeah. This is the first of many.
We always respond too. We respond to everything, man. Yeah. We don't not respond to y'all. We be trying at least. Unless you say some stupid ass shit. I don't see y'all say some stupid ass shit in my DM that don't deserve no response. Yep.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. But I'm very astute, man. I'm on it. I'm reciprocating all energy. I love you guys. Thank you guys for listening. Yep. We really do have a solid little core of listeners that I really am happy about. I'm so baked right now.
And still go check out that last episode, man. We ruffled on some few feathers. We
Absolutely. Our last episode was about, because I know a lot of people are going to listen to this. Our last episode, episode 45, was really for what we like to call house Negroes. Yep. We encountered one. And I already knew this individual was this type of individual, but his energy never necessarily hindered what I had going on, never really affected my life. This individual engaged in some very disrespectful exclusionary tactics with us. He didn't let us play just by virtue of he doesn't like us. You know what I'm saying? We didn't do anything wrong. We hadn't been there in quite a while. We don't cause issues. We don't do things to people. This individual quite literally just has an issue with me and an issue with himself. I don't really think he loves himself that much, and that's a problem. And the company you keep and the reason that you keep that company is a byproduct sometimes of the way you feel about yourself. People go into gang life for a certain reason because they're looking for certain things. They don't feel that good about themselves. Mm-hmm. People go to other communities because maybe they're not getting the love that they feel like they need in their community, and things have happened to them in their own lives. Mm-hmm. But whatever. We encountered a house Negro, and we handled that on episode 45, man. So check that out. Google Play, SoundCloud, Stitcher, like I said. Advertisers hit us up. Jennifer motherfucking Meta.
Yeah. Thank you.
Chuck P.
Very educational, man. Like I said, I know cannabis in a whole different light.
Miss
so, everything you was spewing to me, mind blowing.
Gems.
Yeah, mind blowing.
Bombs. Don't get ready. Stay ready.
Gotta go out? That's how you go out.
Don't get ready. Stay ready.
That was Stay Ready Podcast. They don't be ready, they stay ready. And Candid Conversations. Those brothers and sisters are real deep. We get to share them every now and then and listen to what they have to talk about. And we going to get these quick. We got to go ahead and take care of a little housekeeping here and get you this last commercial here. And we'll be back to wrap it up. You're in tune to Rosemary's World of Cannabis on 710 Radio.
When you're under the influence of marijuana and you choose to get behind the wheel, you know it's wrong. So if you don't listen to your instincts, think about your fellow passengers. Or think about the other people on the road. Even the unexpected ones. And if you don't think about them, you'll answer to us. Drive baked, get busted.
And we back with the wrap up. Anyway, guys, we hope you have a great and safe weekend. You'll be hearing from Jay Hill, one of the voices on Stay Ready podcast when I go in the hospital. He's going to be taking over for me for a few days on the Wake and Bake show with Miss Green Jeans. Also, he'll be taking over for me on Rosemary's World of Cannabis. So you'll probably be hearing some more of the Stay Ready podcast, Candid Conversations, him and with Miss Sharon Wright and Mr. Charles. Anyway, y'all, hey, thank you, Rick, for letting me do what I do on Tuesdays and Thursdays with Rosemary's World of Cannabis on 710 Radio. Hey, thank you, Stay Ready and Candid Conversations becoming a part of my life. Hey, because, guys, y'all are crazy as hell, and y'all keep me laughing all the time. That's why I like my listeners to let them know what I be listening to on my off time. Anyway, y'all have a blessed day from the Rocky Mountain tops of Denver, Colorado, all the way down to, you know the deal, Football City, USA. That'd be Rock Hill, South Carolina. You have been informed, entertained, and educated, and I know you're laughing right now because I be hanging out with some good people. So you stay ready, and I'm going to stay ready. And I got one question for you. Are you awake yet? You better know it. You're in tune to 710 Radio, the Wake and Bake Show, and Ms. Rosemary's World of Cannabis. Also, Stay Ready and Candid Conversations. You can't get no better than that. We out, y'all.